Good evening, Atlanta Bird Gang. What's happening? It's your boy Toddy checking in with another live stream on this fabulous Monday. How's everybody doing? How we doing? How we feeling? How we feeling? How we feeling coming off that big L to the Pittsburgh Steelers? You know what I'm saying? So how we feeling, man? How we feeling? Mic check, mic check. What's happening? What's going on? So yeah, we're gonna come and we're gonna do our player grades today. We typically do those every week. Um, when I don't go on one of my notorious rants, which I don't plan on doing today. So we shall do our player grades today. So first, before we get into that, I do want to talk about I want to ask a question. Do y'all think, or does anyone think that our head coach Arthur Smith has he lost the locker room, or is he starting to lose the locker room? I want to pose that question to some. Has he lost the locker room? Has he's starting to lose the locker room? And I say that based off us coming off that loss to Washington, right? With the very controversial play call. Then we we coming off that, coming to yesterday's game, which we lost also. So it's just making me wonder, like, has he lost the locker room? And then I'm online, right? I'm online like I'm sure you guys do, like I do, um, after every Falcons game, and I come across Huntley's Instagram or something that's taken from his Instagram, and he sent up in which I assume is his car. I assume it looked like he was in his car, and he had a look of frustration on his face, very stoic, frustrated, and the caption was "tired of losing." Sitting in his car, looking obviously frustrated, pissed off. He wasn't smiling. Tired of losing. Spoke volumes, man. Let me check in with everybody before I continue. Russell Moore Jr. in the building. Russell said he came to bang. Nah, I don't plan on banging today, Rusty. What's happening with you, Rusty? Hopefully after the player grades. My guy David Starks is in the building. What's up, Dave? Might need a bang session for all the emotion shit. David said he need to bang. Nah, I didn't plan on banging today, man. Y'all started off on one. Y'all already on one. Y'all trying to get me on one, man. I came in here in a good mood and everything. Y'all trying to get a bang session going. My dog, what's throwing checking in? What's happening with you, Winston? What's going on with your brother? Facebook user, I don't think he has lost the locker room. Let's hope not, Facebook user. I definitely hope not. Davis is for the frustration that's been reported. It's possible. Yeah. Yeah. Cole Smith had a different tone after that press conference. That stubbornness was gone, that arrogance was gone, the cockiness was gone. Hey, man, I wouldn't be surprised if, I'm not trying to start no rumors, but I just wouldn't be surprised if the locker room was different after yesterday than at any other game this year. Just based on Arthur Smith's reaction, and I talked about Huntley's reaction, and we're gonna talk about somebody else's reaction in just a moment too. Facebook, you said he lost the fans. Whoever it is, boy, you wow. So he lost the fans for sure. Oh man. Winston says, I think he's losing it because players know when another player is holding them back, and the coach is holding them back, but not putting them on the bench. Great point. Great point, man. Excellent point. And then, of course, that player would be Mariota. Russ Moore Jr. checking in on YouTube. Also, y'all, anybody that's watching on YouTube, man, do your boy a favor, man. Hit the like button for me, man. It really helps out the channel a great deal. Just take a half a second, hit that like button. Certainly appreciate it. We on the road to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're now sitting at about 300. So any help we can get reaching that goal of 1,000, definitely appreciate it. So we on the road to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Long way to go, but we most certainly gonna get there. And again, I appreciate take a moment just to say thank you to everybody who'll be rocking with the channel on YouTube, man. Y'all be showing a whole lot of support. Any content we drop, y'all show a whole lot of support, man. And we've been getting some motion on there since we started back being active on the channel this season. So YouTube crew, salute. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. But definitely hit the like button for your boy. All right, so let's get back to the show. Russ Moore Jr. says Falcons Wilson with Torrey McHaney. Hope I said the last name right. Said the locker room was quiet yesterday after the game. A scene that had not seen in any of the previous 7 losses this year. I think Marcus Mariota lost his team. To be honest, I could kind of get a vibe. It was a different setting in the locker room, Rusty. And I have not read or heard her quote, but like I say, just reading Arthur Smith's vibes in his press conference, Huntley's vibes, his press conference, and then another player's vibes, who we're gonna talk about in just a second. It just tells me like something was different. It wasn't just your normal loss, your normal win. It was just the energy had probably changed in the locker room. So that's why I asked the question: has Coach Smith lost the locker room, or is he losing the locker room? My dog Mills in 1967 checking in on YouTube. What's happening with you today, Mills? Says Von Huntley was pissed in that photo. Yeah, man. He was mad. You could see it all over his face, man. He was pissed. He was pissed off. He was frustrated. He was upset. Everything, man. This is what I was going to hit. This is what I was talking about when I said we was going to talk about another player. Facebook user says, and thank you for bringing this up. That segues right into what I was going to talk about. Facebook user says, CP, Cordero Patterson, also posted on Twitter saying, I don't give a F about fantasy. I just want to win. Normally, I would say the cuss word, but like I say, since I'm on YouTube, man, I be trying to watch my language, man, because they be giving you demerits on YouTube and, take a channel out of the algorithm. You do a whole lot of cussing. So I'm trying to be professional now and cut down on so much profanity. But that's what I was going to talk about, man. Like Cordero Patterson, College Park, as I like to call him, CP84. Like, one thing about Patterson since he's been here, right? One thing about Patterson since he's been here, he has been one of the most humble, down-to-earth, fun to be around, likable, always in just a great mood. Players that really have came through the Falcons organization, or at least since I've been watching them, man. I've been following him on social media. Nothing seems to ever get under his skin. He just always seems like he's just in such a great positive mood, man. Always. Before every game, he plays catches with the fans. He just seems like one of the players that he's just always up in a chipper mood. Can't nothing bring him down, right? Nothing. But after the game yesterday, you could tell he was upset. He was frustrated because he did something that CP that is out of character for him, from what I've seen or what I've observed from him since he's been an Atlanta Falcon. Now, if he was doing this other places, I can't speak on. I didn't follow him like that on social media. But it was out of character for him, man, because he went to Twitter and he snapped. And I know that was frustration after the loss. Kind of like Huntley posted that picture in that car. He was visibly upset. You know what Patterson said on Twitter, you could just tell he's pissed off, man, frustrated. You know, I'm gonna read to y'all what he posted. This is at 6:39. Of course, yesterday after the game, after they done went in the locker room, took the showers and all that stuff. Blah 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 blah. Cordell Patterson posted on his Twitter, and I quote, "Let me tell y'all this: I don't give a f about your fantasy team. I want to win the game. That's all we care about is winning." Now, I know to some that may not seem like a huge deal, but that's not Cordell. That's not the Patterson that we've come to know in Atlanta. That's not the Patterson that we've come to know. Normally, Patterson wouldn't even give this type of stuff attention because that's just not who he is. But this just seems like a real frustrated bunch of players in the locker room. So again, I asked the question: has Arthur Smith lost his locker room? Is he losing the locker room? Even Arthur Smith. Y'all know me. I've been on Arthur Smith's ass all year long about being stubborn and how he be acting after losses and stuff, his arrogance. But even he was different. They asking him questions. He seemed like he had just been humbled. He's talking about, normally when somebody asks about quarterback changes, he pretty much say, F you can, kiss my ass. But now he's talking about, well, we'll evaluate everything. Everything is on the table. Changes will be made. So even he seems to be different. So it just makes me wonder, like, has some of the confidence been lost since we lost the game against the Steelers? It just really makes me wonder. Makes me wonder. PK checking in from YouTube. What's happening with you, PK? How you doing, there, brother? Watching Falcons is so exhausting. Yes, it is. It's strenuous, strenuous, man. You better have a good health insurance plan if you're a Falcons fan, because you're gonna need it, man. Your health insurance better be up to par, low deductible, all that stuff, right? Because you're gonna need them benefits. Why mess with this thing? Oh man. Facebook user says he lost me with all these games in the BS play calling anyway, put some smoke in the air. Yeah, man. Got one of these old Drew Estates factory smokes, on deck. Lisa checking in today. How you doing today, Lisa? What's going on? Lisa says, "Oh man, I didn't see that. I did see CP's tweet though. He said he don't care nothing about people's fantasy team. He just wants to win. Yeah, yeah." And Lisa can attest to the chipper mood or the good mood or the great mood that Patterson is always in. He has famously played catch with the fans before every game, and she was actually luckily one of the people that he played catch with before. So she can attest to that. But yeah, Lisa, Huntley, man, he was sitting in his car. He just looked upset, man. It was just one of them looks. He's like, "Hey, man, I'll talk to you tomorrow, bro." he just was upset. Say, get on one, Tyler. What you talking about, Mills, exactly, when you say get on one? PK says this Mariota romance has turned the team. Mariota has been bad lately, man. He has been bad. Can't even debate that or refute that. Facebook user said the fans comment was mean. Oh, what's happening, Mo? How you doing today, bro? What's going on with you? It's straight facts. Y'all know we getting Dan Quinn vibes. A little bit, bro. A little bit, man. Like I've been saying, Mo, like first year, pass. Second year, maybe. Third year, maybe. Fourth year, maybe. Fifth year, maybe. Sixth year, maybe. Seventh year, maybe. Eighth year, maybe. Ninth year, maybe. 10th year, maybe. 11th year, maybe. 12th year, maybe. 13th year, maybe. 14th year, maybe. 15th year, maybe. 16th year, maybe. 17th year, maybe. 18th year, maybe. 19th year, maybe. 20th year, maybe. 21st year, maybe. 22nd year, maybe. 23rd year, maybe. 24th year, maybe. 25th year, maybe. 26th year, maybe. 27th year, maybe. 28th year, maybe. 29th year, maybe. 30th year, maybe. 31st year, maybe. 32nd year, maybe. 33rd year, maybe. 34th year, maybe Second year, I'm still willing to give you a pass. But year 3 next year, ain't no more passes, man. Like this team gotta start winning. The team gotta start winning. I mean, I get the salary cap and all that revitalizing the roster, which is why the first year's a pass to me, and also to me, which is why the second year's a pass. So you get 2 passes, but year 3, hey man, something got to shake. Something really got to shake year 3. Like I don't know who it's gonna be, but they better figure this quarterback thing out, man. Because we sit here talking about frustrated players. I'm telling y'all, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, they're not going to be content with being blocking wide receivers and pass catchers. I'm telling y'all. You saw, Pickens is a different breed of attitude, but you saw just yesterday, Pickens is only a rookie, and he's already frustrated. Kyle Pitts done got injured too. So they're going to have to figure it out. If it's Ritter or, man, you gotta bring in the free agent, Tannehill or whoever, man, somebody that can throw this ball. If you got to move up in the draft to go get Bryce Young, Stroud, you got to figure it out, man. Because I'm telling y'all, man, Drake London and Kyle Pitts, they're not going to be content with being blockers. They're both still babies right now, so, they're going to hold it in their chest. But I'm telling y'all, man, you got to figure this stuff out soon. Especially since you drafted them, especially since you drafted them. You drafting guys in the top 4 and the top 8, man, you got to be using these dude. So you gotta figure the quarterback thing out. If Coach Smith ain't got that much confidence in Ritter, or the offensive coordinator, or the quarterback coach, or the coaching staff, I'm just gonna put everybody under one umbrella. If they don't have the confidence in Ritter, hey man, you better be making some calls on draft day to move up and get a quarterback. I'm telling you, this thing can implode. You took 2 consecutive pass catches in the draft. You better find somebody who can throw to him. If not, I'm sorry, y'all. They're gonna just look like incompetence at the top. Because you drafted dependent positions, and I'm just gonna call them both pass catchers, wide receivers. Kyle just like a wide receiver, but you drafted dependent positions, and you got a question mark at the quarterback position. You got to figure it out, man. Terry Arthur, I got to figure it out next year. I'm not stressing this year because I always repeat to y'all. My prediction was 7-10, and I'm standing on that still. Looks like we on pace to be about 7-10, so I'm gonna stand on that. I can't get too mad at how the team playing now because I didn't predict going into the season that we'd be a winning team and we go into the playoffs. So I can't just get overly upset at them because looking at the roster and the salary cap and the things that we were facing, I figure, hey, this is gonna be like a 7-10 team. But next year, you gotta get it together, man. It don't take 5, 6, 7 years to rebuild a team. You see teams do it every year, man. They break it down and they right back winning again. I'm not saying you break it down and you got to win the Super Bowl the next year or two, but you just can't you can't sit here 3 and 4 straight years winning 5 games, 7 games, 7 games, 8 games. No, man. You might as well just kept Dimitroff and Dan Quinn here. We're gonna win the same amount of games. You might as well kept the old crew here, man. You fired the old crew because you got tired of losing. You didn't hire the new crew to continue losing. So next year, year 3, year 4. Year 3, year 4, we got to get to it, man. Year 3, year 4, we got to get to it. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube, man. Y'all do me a favor, hit the like button. For everybody's watching on YouTube, man, definitely appreciate the support on the YouTube channel. So just do me a huge favor, just smash that like button for me, man. Smash that like button. It helps the channel grow, helps the video get out to more places. Thank you in advance. Mills, 1967, so Smith's body language and attitude was humbled in that interview. Yeah, man, that's the most humbled I've ever seen him, man. That arrogance was gone. That stubbornness was gone. I never seen him just humbled like that. Even his tone was more contrite. So that's why I asked the question, like, has he lost the locker room? You know? Did one of them play a snap before the media came in? You know what I'm saying? Because there's a period when they get in the locker room, the coach address the team. They don't let the media in it right after the game. There's some shaking and baking happen after the game. You know what I'm saying? It just was a different vibe from everybody after the game than I'm used to seeing. So it just makes like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Has he lost the locker room? Are they losing some faith in him? What's going on? Like I said, got to get it right, man. Got to get it right. False start Falcon. What's happening with the false start? Say the best part about it is that DR4. Who is DR4? Oh, duh. My bad. Desmond Ritter doesn't have to do much, right? Run game strong. Defense keeps it manageable. Yeah, when do y'all think is the most opportune time to put Desmond Ritter in? False start, when should Ritter come in and start playing? You think he should start against the Aints? Now, I'm going to tell y'all my opinion on the Aints and Ritter. I'm going to keep it a brick. Now, Mariota has been bad, especially these last two games. He's been bad. Came front. But I'm not sure if I want him to start against New Orleans, and I'm going to tell y'all why. Even though we're coming off a bye, and he might start against New Orleans, but I'm going to tell y'all why I'm not excited about him starting against New Orleans. That's going to be a road game and a very hostile environment against a team who already hate our guts. So they gonna come there body and ready to talk and be live just because we in the building. You know what I'm saying? Just because Atlanta in the building, they gonna come extra pumped up. They're gonna take 2 or 3 more drinks than they normally do. So they're gonna be rowdy, man. So it's gonna be already a known hostile environment that's gonna be even more hostile just because the Atlanta Falcons in the building and they hate our guts. And technically, we're still in the playoff race, even though I don't think we're going to make it. I just don't know if the New Orleans game is the best game to start him. Now, I'm not saying you can't play him in the New Orleans game, but start him, I'm not sure. What y'all think? Tell me what y'all think. Eric Park in the building. What's up, Eric? I'm sure Arthur Smith knows he failed the team and fans with this decision. He probably does. Maybe he felt a little guilty, right? What's up, Jonathan? How you doing today, bro? Says Arthur Smith giving me Dan Quinn vibes. You're the second person on the stream that said that, Jonathan. You're the second person, bro. Jonathan, like I say, hey, you got to pass me these first 2 years, but year 3, bro, we got to get to it, dog. I don't want to hear nothing about no salary cap. I don't hear nothing about no quarterback. And the reason I don't want to hear nothing about no quarterback because they done had 2 years to get a quarterback. You pass year 1 on a quarterback. You pass year 2 on a quarterback. You don't get 7 years to get a quarterback. If you passing on quarterbacks, that's your problem. You had an opportunity to get a quarterback. Y'all know me. Now that Kyle Pitts here, I'm riding for him. But I initially thought 2021 draft was the time to get your quarterback. So when year 3, year 4 get here, I'm not gonna be the one saying, well, we ain't got no quarterback yet. Y'all done had an opportunity to get quarterback, so you got to get to it, man. You really got to get to it. Got to get to it. We're going out of garage in the building. What's happening with you, bro? Says OZ looked pissed at Marcus Mariota on the bench. I didn't catch that, man. I heard somebody else mention that. I also heard somebody mention that Drake London kind of side-eyed him a little bit as well. during yesterday's game. So interesting, man. Like I say, it's just the vibe just seemed different, bro. After the game, the vibe just seemed way different, man. PK says I'm tired of Smith trying to get wins at the expense of Falcons team as a whole. What do you mean exactly on that, PQ? Tell me what you mean. Rusty says Huntley is a free agent as well. Like I told everybody at the beginning of the year, Atlanta needs to be a attractive spot if guys were going to sign and resign here. The Instagram story is worrisome. Yeah, it is worse than Rusty. Because like you can just see everything. You can just see it in his face, bro. Like that did not look like that dude looked ultra pissed, man. And I'm gonna tell y'all one thing about Huntley. How old is Huntley, Rusty? Let me see. Let me Google his age real quick. How old is he? See how old Huntley is. 24 years old, Rusty. To me, we need to extend Huntley, bro. 24 years old, the way he running. And the reasons I said we need to extend him, man, because Cordero Patterson, I love CP, bro. I honestly wish CP we'd have drafted CP, dog. I love him. That's the type of player that you want in your organization. Love CP. But he's getting older. He only has 1 year left on his deal. And if you keep Huntley, that kind of buys you 2 more years of really having to worry about drafting a running back. If you keep Huntley. Because that means you got Huntley and you got Algier. So you got 2 young backs with experience. They're both Huntley getting experience this year. Algier damn near done played as much as a starter as a rookie. So I want us to keep Huntley. And that way you don't have to worry about spending draft picks on running backs. Or if you do, you draft them in the 6th and 7th round. You know what I'm saying? So I really want this team to keep Huntley because he's young. So I would love to see them give him an extension, man. I want him to stay around here. He already knows the system. He's great running the ball. We right now are running team, and like I say, we just don't have to worry about filling that roster spot. And again, Patterson loves CP. Patterson is on the other side of 30. He only got 1 year left on his contract. You know, Patterson contract expires at the end of next year. And I'm really not sure that you signed a 32, 33-year-old running back. You know, it's just my opinion. But I love CP. Love CP. Love how you rep the Falcons. PK says we have blown so many damn games, it's becoming ridiculous. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's our reason too, bro. We are the masters at the blown lead. We need something to be excited about. That's true. That's true. Something to get the fans back in the stadium, man. Something to get the fans right back in the stadium. CP said F them fans. CP and Huntley went trying to hear none of that BS yesterday after the game, man. None of it. PK says the only positive season we don't have to watch Matt Ryan throw picks in the red zone, then get set. Man, Matt Ryan looked awful yesterday, man. He looked terrible. Now I will give Fontenot and Arthur Smith credit on that one. They got rid of Matt Ryan and Julio at the right time. Cause boy, both of them boys like now, whoa. Julio's a shell of his former self. He can't stay on the field. And Matt Ryan, man, boy. I kind of felt a little sorry for Matt Ryan yesterday because you could see watching the game yesterday, the game just moves too fast for Matt Ryan now. Matt Ryan has aged so much these last 2 years. The game just moves too fast for him. And people, even when he was in Atlanta, people always talking about he ain't got no line. It's just that Matt Ryan is just one-dimensional. Matt Ryan don't even do a good job of reading the blitz pre-snap anymore. And everybody know the book on Matt Ryan. Third down, he can't do nothing. He go there and eat the sack and fumble, or he gonna get flustered and throw an interception. And they was bringing that funk to him yesterday, man. Like, boy, I wouldn't be surprised if Matt gonna retire at the end of the year, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they work out something, they buy the rest of his contract, and he just go ahead and be a family man and take care of his little boys. But Matt Ryan is a bad quarterback now. He's a bad quarterback. PK says Austin Smith should be able to get 8 damn wins with this freaking team. Facebook uses Marcus Mariota performance humble him. The defense and effective tackling. He has a lot of changes to consider during the bye week. Yeah, he does, man. A lot of things to consider and a lot of changes that need to be made. You know, we sitting at 5-8, man. And we were just 500 not long ago. Now we 3 games under 500 with only 4 games left. So another one of them seasons for us, another losing season looks like it's upon us unless we just happen to win out and finish 9-8. You know, I would love for us to win out, finish 9-8, but y'all know me. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I don't see that happening, man. I don't see that happening. I don't see it happening, man. Lisa says with 4 games left and we're sitting at 5-8, he can no longer say we have a lot of football left. God, that's an excellent point, Lisa. Excellent point. Excellent point. We have very little football left. So what are we going to do now, Coach Smith? Yeah, great comment. Excellent comment. Davis says I'm going to concentrate on fantasy team. Could he be talking about the QB like someone else just said? What do you mean exactly, David? Lee says, so what do you think we're going to do these last 4 games, Toddy? The bye couldn't have come at a better time for the team after these losses. Who gets to start and know you? I'm going to say Mariota gets to start, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ritter got to start. But I would say Mariota. But I will say if Mariota does start, he on a short leash. If he struggles first half and we go into halftime, we ain't got but 6 points, 9 points, they'll bring Ritter in to finish the game for the second half. Because like you just said a moment ago, Lisa, it's very little football left. They got to start evaluating Ritter, man. You got to start that evaluation process, especially at 5-8, and we have a almost impossible chance of making the playoffs now. You gotta find a way to go ahead and put him in the game. And I think Cole Smith finally not standing up for Mariota in the press conference may have been a prelude to him saying, hey, expect to see Ritter play the next game. Because again, as everybody's been mentioning, it's a 2-week preparation. So you got 2 weeks to get the rookie ready if you're gonna start him or if you're gonna play him. But I think his press conference was very telling because for the first time all season, he has stood behind Mariota. Because normally when somebody asks him about a quarterback change, he snapped back. You know, he get real snappy. But this time he's like, well, he pretty much said it's possible. You know, I'm paraphrasing, but he pretty much said, hey, anything's possible at this point. Mike Geiger in the building. What's up with you, Big Mike? In my opinion, the players are tired of losing, and us fans are tired. Mike didn't cut to the chain. Mike said, "Shit, the players tired of it too." We need to change that quarterback. Just my opinion. I feel you on that, Mike. I definitely feel you, bro. Bring on Ritter first, then let's see what we need. I feel you, PK. This still make any quarterback look good. Oh, Facebook user says Ragon killed Trubisky once he got Chicago. Remember, they were a playoff team back then until he took over. Yeah, that's a fact. It's a fact. Trubisky at one point looked like he could be a potentially good quarterback, man. At one point in time. Things can't wait to sweep us out in the Falcons. Yeah, and Lisa, that's why this is why I'm a little hesitant to say to start Ritter, man. Because I know that's gonna be a hostile environment in New Orleans. Because I'll give them credit in their stadium. You know, they make a lot of noise, and we're gonna be in the building, so you know they're gonna be extra amped up to make a lot of noise against us. And then, You throw a rookie in there, man, they gonna. But like you said, we can't let them sweep us. And then the thing about it too, Lisa, like it's a lot riding on this New Orleans game. Because if we happen to lose, knock on wood, they gonna tie the all-time series. So that's a lot riding on this next game, man. If we lose, they got the all-time series tied. And that's one thing we always had on them. That all-time series. And we won the one playoff game that we played against each other. So it's a lot riding on the game, man. Wrestlers, I get what you're saying, but I don't care how hostile it is. Throw him into the fire and see what he has. We will know if we have a real one or not real quick. Possibly. And now I don't know if one game. I don't think one game is enough to really draw a conclusion, but it's definitely a starting point. It's certainly a starting point. False start Falcons says now's the time if you want to get swept by the stank, start Mariota. So you said start Mariota. Okay, so false start says start Mariota. Oh, no, if you want to get swept. I read that wrong. My bad. So you pretty much saying start Ritter. My bad. Facebook uses him. It doesn't matter who we play. Mariota needs to sit. Facebook user said, I say start him because we will really see what he's got in that type of environment. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. See what he got in that kind of environment, Does he stand up or does he fall down? You're right. PK false like we need answers we're at ASAP. Lisa says right tight. I'm thinking go ahead and start Mariota and Noya. If you start sticking it up the super dump, then put Ritter in. We have 2 road games in a row. Then we end the season in the bins. Definitely start Ritter once we're mathematically out of playoff contention. Yeah, once we're mathematically out of it, then there's no doubt. Then you just go ahead and start him. No matter who we playing or what we playing at it. Once we're mathematically out, you go ahead and you start the rookie, man. Go ahead and start him and just see what we got with him. We have the receivers as options. Yeah, man. PK, I like our receivers, bro. Our pass catchers, as I like to call them. That way I can include Kyle Pitts in the conversation. But Pitts, Drake London, Zacchaeus. I think this is Zacchaeus last year also. So I would love to see us re-sign Zacchaeus, man. Zacchaeus and Huntley, man. I want to keep them guys on the team. We got the cap space finally, so I don't see any reason we shouldn't. Zacchaeus plays hard. Huntley plays hard, Those are guys that I want to give another contract to. So I'm hoping we keep them both around, man. Our money in the building. What's happening with your money? Yep, I agree. They too busy taking tight ends with the 4th overall pick. And that's another thing. Our money, like, you don't get a quarterback in here, then people going to really, they already catch some criticism now about not taking a quarterback before now. And if you don't get your quarterback in, people going to start going back to see, you should have drafted a quarterback your first year here. You messed up. And then, those people's perspectives are going to be more valid if you don't go ahead and get your quarterback in here, man. So you got it, man. You got to get your guy in here, man. You got to get your guy in here. All this hopscotch quarterbacking, you better get your guy in here. If Ritter the guy, hey, you better go ahead and get him ready, Coach, man. I'm telling you, next year, us fans, man, we're not gonna be as passive as we are now because a lot of us understood what they came into, right? From the previous Dimitroff administration, we understood what they inherited: no salary cap, bad contracts with washed up stars like Julio and Matt Ryan. So you got to give them a good 2 years to turn it over. But shoot, year 3, year 4, homeboy, we got to go. Bump all this 5 to 7 to 8 year rebuild plan. Like, man, bump that. What we rebuilding the Great Pyramids of Egypt? You need 8 years to rebuild a team? Like, no, you don't need all that time. You get that thing 3-4 years. Hey, let's go. Let's get to it. Davis says Baltimore's on the road too. If we're going to see what Ritter has got, what better place than New Orleans? Baptism by fire is the best way to see how it is. Yeah, somebody else mentioned that too, David. Somebody else mentioned that too. PK, bro. I mean, Smith is trying to get wins to save his job. I don't know if his job is in jeopardy at this point, but next year, if he ain't winning, he gonna be on the hot seat, man. I'm telling you, he ain't winning next year. He gonna be on the hot seat. He is gonna be on the hot seat. Lisa didn't want to screenshot Huntley IG story. I missed it. Yeah, Lisa, I actually seen it in this group, I think, earlier today. Or it might have been late last night. But I seen it in the group. When I get off the live stream, I'll see if I can find it. But I seen it in the group. But he definitely looked upset. What's up, Travis? How you doing, bro? Cordero in that 2006 offense would have been lethal. Oh, man, what? Bro, and he was younger, too. You know what I'm saying? Man, what you talking about? Abel checking in. What's up, Abel? If Ritter's the guy, he can play against the Aints and welcome the pressure. I like it. So y'all said, let's go. Y'all said, tie the man bump all that being scared of a hostile environment. Put the man in. All right, well, let's go then. Let's roll with it. I just don't want to lose that game, of course, man. I don't want them bag heads to towels, man, because that's the one thing we've had on them, man. You know, we've always led the all-time series, and I don't want to lose that lead. So this is going to be a very important game. Probably going to have some playoff implications also. Jared Butler checking in says tired of Smith. you tired of him already, Jared. Jared said he about ready to get a new coach. Oh, man. If CP is still playing at this caliber next season, I say give him an extension. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. He already missed 4 games, man. I would have to see how healthy he can stay, man. Because like when you start getting like 31, 32, 33, and you taking a pounding that he takes as a running back, man, you be getting injured. You know, he's already been on injury reserve this year. So I don't know. I guess we can cross that bridge once we get there, though, because he's still under contract. Derek says if the best players on the if the best players are the players on the field, explain Marcus Mariota. I'm assuming that Arthur Smith felt like he was giving us the best chance to win. That's my assumption. I'm not saying that he is, but that's just my assumption that Smith thought he gave us the best chance to win. It's them Tennessee Titans he won't let go. Oh, man, y'all wildin', man. Y'all wildin'. Lee says the Falcons hosted an impromptu unplugged call with Coach Smith today. Oh, I'm sure it was a form of damage control. The front office is hearing the discontent from the fan base. Smith didn't say much, really. He looked tight as well. Oh, I think I seen Eddie Thompson post something about that, Lisa. I would have loved to hear the call. Did you hear the call, Lisa? And that's kind of like, Lisa, that's going back to what I said initially. Like, is he losing some of the locker room? Like what's going on? Like, I'm just saying the vibes from this game after the game, Lisa, they were just different. Player vibes was different. Coaching vibes were different. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if something happened in that locker room. I wouldn't be shocked at all. Would not be shocked. Winston says, yeah, 3 is make it or break it for Smith. He'll have every advantage by then. Let us have a losing season. Beginning of 4 will be his pink slip. I totally agree. Totally agree. If we lose, if we have a losing season in 2023, he might not survive 2024. Point blank, period. Losing season in 2023, sir, your seat is scorching hot now. You're a first-year head coach. Haven't won anything of significance. A lot of questionable coaching calls. Some people will say a lot of questionable coaching draft picks. So it is what it is. Let's see. Jared Butler says, quick fix, sign Aaron Rodgers so Ridder could learn behind a real thrower. He'll have a tight end, wide receiver, and a run game. Just use the crazy cap rule and draft picks on defense, and there you have it. What do y'all think about what Jared say? Draft trade for Aaron Rodgers or hell no to Aaron Rodgers? What do y'all say? What's y'all thoughts on that? All right, and let me go ahead and get to the player grades, man, because I don't want to. I don't want to not do those today because I know some people enjoy doing it. I enjoy doing it. So let's go to the player grades, man. For those of you who might be new or who have never done the player grades with us, what we do after every game is we grade our players. We grade them on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 means that you're a trash son, handing your shoulder pass, handing your helmet. Don't show up to practice tomorrow. You garbage. Epitome of trash. 10 means that was a perfect. Perfect. So we grade on a scale of 0 to 10. So we're gonna get started on our player grades here right now. We always start on defense, so we'll continue to start on defense here. So let's see who we're gonna start with today. Let's see. Let's start with the rookie Troy Anderson. Let's start with Troy. We'll start with the rookie Troy Anderson. Let me get his numbers up from me. Okay, so Troy Anderson yesterday had a total of 4 tackles. He had 1 assist. He had 3 solo tackles. And again, we are grading Troy Anderson scale of 0 to 10. 4 total tackles, 1 assist, 3 solo tackles for Troy Anderson. No passes deflated, no interceptions, anything of that nature. So, good people, I ask you, what grade would you give Troy Anderson on a scale of 0 to 10 for Troy Anderson? PK said, let's try Ritter for F State. Y'all be having me laughing reading so many comments. And we're grading Troy Anderson, by the way. Facebook user said 7 for Troy yesterday. Norman said 7 for Troy yesterday. Eric checking in said 7 for Troy yesterday. David said 6, little above average for the amount of snaps he got. So any other grades coming in for Troy Anderson, y'all? We are graded on a scale of 0 to 10. Mr. Troy Anderson. PK gives him 8, says he likes the homie. So Troy Anderson. Any other grades coming in for Troy? Rusty says 6 seems legit. So any other grades for Troy Anderson before we tally up the numbers? Scale of 0 to 10, Troy Anderson. So let's go ahead and tally up the numbers real quick. Let's see, 7. So we got Troy Anderson at about 6.7, 6.8. So I think that's fairly decent. Definitely above average. Not good, not great, not exceptional. Fairly decent game for you, Troy. You weren't bad. We ain't really got that bad to say about you. That stood out, but definitely room for improvement at a 6.8. Hold on, we got another one coming in. Eldrick Nelson checking in on YouTube. What's up with you, Eldrick? 6, because he didn't finish the game due to injury. I didn't know Troy got hurt. What happened? That's news to me, Eldrick. I didn't know that, bro. What happened with Troy? And with your 6, that'll probably bring him down to like maybe close to the 6.7 range, 6.6. Still the same assessment overall on his grade. So we'll move to our next person here. We won't do as many defenders today since I spent so much time talking. Let's go with let's go with the team leader. Let's go with Big Grady Jarrett. Let's go with Grady. Grady yesterday, a total of four total tackles. He had 1 assist and he did have 3 solo tackles. And again, that's Grady Jarrett, 4 total tackles, 1 assist, 3 solo tackles for Grady Jarrett. What grade would y'all give for Grady Jarrett for yesterday's game? We're grading on a scale of 0 to 10. What say you? Winston says, hell no, they roll. Russell came back in. Elder said it was an ankle injury. Okay, I didn't even see that, man. I don't know. Maybe I was stepping in the kitchen or something. I didn't know he got hurt. Okay, so Rusty has Grady at a 6.5. David has him at a 7 for the effort. Eric Parker gives him a 7. Norman has him at a 7. What's up, Norman? Facebook users give Grady an 8. Any other grades for Grady? Facebook user says Grady a 7.5. He did get some pressure. I saw one play, man. Grady Jarrett ran all the way up to the other side of the field. That's one thing I do like about Grady. His motor normally is always running. Any other grades for Grady Jarrett? Brian Cornelius Sr. What's up with you, Brian? How you doing today, bro? Says an 8 for Grady. PK says Grady always do his thing. He definitely do. He definitely do. All right, so we'll go ahead and tally up the grades for Grady. Y'all give me just a second here. 6.4. We got Grady, y'all, right at a 7. Right at a 7. And coincidentally, Winston gave him a 7 also. So we got him right at a 7. Got Grady Jarrett right at a 7. 7, that's a pretty good game. Typical Grady Jarrett, pretty good game. Like somebody else said, he flashed, pressure. Like I mentioned, you always see that motor running. His presence is always known. He's gonna be double teamed 65% of the time. The other 35% of the time, they're gonna try their best not to run at him. So pretty good game by Grady. That's what we have become accustomed to from Grady Jarrett since he's been drafted by this team. This one should be interesting, I think. Well, maybe not. Let's see here. Let's go. Let's go with the Hawk. Let's go with the Hawk. Oh, Jalen Hawkins, the Hawk. Jalen Hawkins had a total 4 total tackles. He assisted on 3 tackles. Jalen Hawkins had 1 solo tackle. I will give you those numbers once again. Jalen Hawkins, 1 solo tackle, assisted on 3 tackles, and had a total of 4 tackles. He did not have any pass deflections, quarterback hits, or anything of that nature. So what grade would y'all give the Hawk? Jalen Hawkins on a scale of 0 to 10. Facebook user says, I wonder why my comments are coming in as Facebook user. What you got to do, Facebook user, is on my caption on Facebook, while I wrote my caption, click on that link. There's going to be a link right there, right underneath my caption. In fact, let me look at the caption so I can describe it better to you. All right, right under my caption where I say, have the Atlanta Falcons player become frustrated player grades? There's a second paragraph there, and there's also a link in that second paragraph. What you want to do is click on that link, and that gives StreamYard, which is the software I'm using, it gives StreamYard permission to show your name and your profile picture like everybody else's is showing. So just click on that link pretty much. Who we grading now? Jalen Hawkins. Yeah, Jalen Hawkins. Facebook uses 3 for me. He was the weakest link out there. Oh, boy. David Starks gives him a 6. Facebook uses 3.5. Eric Parker says a 4. Norm says the Hawk gets a 7. So any other grades for Jalen Hawkins? Jalen Hawkins. There you go, Tim. You're welcome. You're welcome, bro. All right, so we are grading Jalen Hawkins, y'all. Jalen Hawkins. Any other grades for Jalen Hawkins on a scale of 0 to 10? Rusty gives him a 5. All right, so let's go ahead and tally up these grades real quick, y'all. Yeah, he's right at about a 4, 4.1 if we being nice. That's a below average game, pretty much a poor outing. You didn't have a good game, son. You know, you playing like you want to go to the bench. You're playing like you want us to draft a safety and challenge you for your job, man. That's below average. That's poor. That's a poor game. That's a bad game. It's a bad game, man. Missed those, and that's like the second consecutive week that we talked about that. So early in the year, Jalen, you showed a lot of potential, bro. We need you to be more consistent, man. You know, we got to get more from you, bro. We compensated. A lot of draft compensation was invested in you. So I mean, we need some return. Come on, bro. So let's go next to, let's see. This one should be fairly interesting because y'all been lining him up the last few times. So I'm interested to see what y'all gonna say, or what grades that this person is gonna get this week. So let's go to Mr. Darren Hall, who's playing for the injured Hayward. Darren Hall had a total 7 total tackles. He assisted on 4 tackles, had 3 solo tackles. So once again, we are grading Darren Hall, y'all. Our cornerback, Darren Hall. 7 total tackles, assisted on 4 tackles, and had 3 solo tackles. And again, this is for Darren Hall. He didn't have any interceptions, no pass deflection. So what are y'all grades for Darren Hall, please? David Stark gives him a 1. Jimmy Wayne Hall in the building. What's happening with you, Jimmy? Says 4, and that's not saying much. Eric Parker gives him a 2. Norman gives him a 4. Tim says coverage. He gives him a 1. Oh, man. Scooter gives him a 4, says got trucked and burnt. PKK the man a 0. Why y'all harsh on Darren Hall? Why y'all do Darren like that, man? Man, any other grades for Darren Hall, y'all? Any other grades coming in for Darren Hall? We're grading Darren Hall scale of 0 to 10. Darren Hall. So we'll go ahead and tally up these grades real quick for Darren. Let's see. 2.5, 2.3, 2. Toast. Resident Hall is pure trash, looking like a wasted pig. Gives him a 3. 2.2. Dirty Dan, what's up with you, man? Dirty Dan gives him a 1. PK says trash. So based on y'all grades, man, he coming in about a 1.8, a 2 if we being nice, 1.9. So as Rusty said, that grade is that's a trash grade, bro. That's we could have got somebody off the bench to come in and give us that, bro. Like that's absolutely garbage. And I guess technically he is coming off the bench, so that's kind of like a moron on my part. Winston does give him a 5, so that'll bump him up to 2.2, 2.1 territory. Now slightly above 2. Still is awful. Still is just pathetic, man. That's just absolutely garbage. We need depth at cornerback because every single week he getting the same kind of grades, and obviously we don't have nobody else that we can put in. So we need depth at cornerback next year. Breaking news. Jimmy Wayne Hall says Joe Stetson, a Heisman finalists. Let's go to Quavius. Quavius getting their props, getting his recognition. Congratulations to Stetson Bennett. You know, certainly hope he wins the Heisman as a Georgia fan. I don't think he will, but above and beyond everything, it says a lot that he's even getting invited to New York. Walk on, backup quarterback, worked his way up to be a Heisman finalist. That says a lot about that man, his work ethic, and his desire to be a great football player. So congratulations to Stetson. And let's win that national championship once again. All right, so back to Norman Dumpster Juice. All right, so back to our grades. We're gonna go now with his we're gonna go now with Richie Grant. Richie Grant. Our safety Richie Grant had a total of 9 total tackles. Richie Grant assisted on 5 tackles. Richie Grant had 4 solo tackles. Richie Grant also had a tackle for loss. And I'll give you those numbers again. Richie Grant had 1 tackle for loss. He had a total of 9 total tackles, 5 assists, 4 solo tackles. So I ask you guys, what is your grade? Scale of 0 to 10 for Mr. Richie Rich himself, Mr. Richie Grant. And I think I might shouldn't put this in, but I think he caught one of them stiff arms from Najee Harris too. Look like he knocked him about 10 yards. When that Richie Grant that caught that stiff arm, if I remember right. Oh man, PK says fans deserve rid after watching this. Well, grading Richie Grant also, y'all. So what do y'all give Richie Grant on scale of 0 to 10? David starts getting a 0. Dang, David. And David, y'all, he normally a pretty generous judge too. So he give him a 0. That's saying a lot. Dave says, good evening, Todd. I want to clear up an exchange from a couple of weeks ago when I made a comment regarding a comment that you made regarding Desmond Ritter. I meant no harm. Love your content. Hey, thank you very much, Dave, for watching, man. And no harm, no foul. You know, I didn't take anything that you said too hard or anything personal. You know, it's football, and we are football fans, man. So we all gonna be passionate and voicing our opinions and how I feel. So salute to you, you know, for being a very big person and a man, for making amends. But trust me, man, I'll take that personal, man. And thank you very much for watching on YouTube. I definitely do appreciate that, brother. Jimmy Wayne Hall says 7 for Grant. He's a good player. Tim McCarthy says Grant is trying to be a ball hog. He gets an 8. Rustin Moore, excuse me. Richard got stiff arm all the way to Najee and always gets beaten pass coverage of 6. Let's see. Eric Park says an 8. Okay, so y'all feeling Richard a lot more. Y'all feeling Darren Hall, obviously. They said some fellow posted immediately fence, and I love that. Hey, you know how we are. We all Falcons fans, brother. We all family at the end of the day, man. David Starr says most of the tackles should have been pass deflections. Brian Cornelius says he don't get no grade. All get is a trip Atlanta Department headquarters to file a police report on Harris for that stiff arm, assault and battery. Najee said, I came to bang. Najee Harris banged on our own player. God damn. Why y'all wild these comments, man? Norman says a 7.5 for Grant. Why y'all wow. Scooter says 9 tackles the way he was getting punted. I can't tell he gets a 5. Oh man. Days is time you make a Coach P's defense. Sometimes I approve of it, and sometimes it really makes me sick to my stomach, especially the soft zone that we often find ourselves in. And the thing about it, Dave, I try to be rational and and consider the fact that outside of Grady and outside of AJ Terrell, there's really no proven good talent on his defense. And I try to remind myself that's probably some of the reason that he does play the zone so much because there's no proven defenders on that side of the ball where he can play a lot of man and take a lot of chances without continuously, giving up the big plays. So overall, we give up a lot of passing yards. But as of late, we hadn't given up a lot of points defensively. It's kind of that old bend don't break that we saw in 2012, the last few games. So I'm willing to give Dean Pease another year before I just get on the a fire Dean Pease bandwagon to get more defensive talent through free agency and also more defensive talent through the draft. Because the first 2 years of this administration, both top 10 picks have been on the offensive side of the ball. And I'm sure if you talk to Dean Pease, he would love to get one of those top 10 picks on the defensive side of the ball. Yep, you're definitely right about that, PK. Let's see. It says, Tidy, what do you think about Grady's last contract at Falcons? I love it, man. I honestly thought Grady Jarrett was going to get 20 million plus per year. But I think his contract averages around somewhere around 17, 18, maybe 19. I think it was fair. I think it was very team friendly, and I think ultimately Grady Jarrett wanted to stay in Atlanta because he didn't even play around with the free agent stuff. He didn't say anything in the media. His representation and say anything for the media. So I love Grady Jarrett contract. I have absolutely no problem with it. I think it was fair to him. I think it was very fair to the team. So I like it. Let's see. So who we left off on, y'all? I think we left off on Richard Grant. So let me count up Richard Grant's grade real quick, y'all. Just a second here. 0, 5, 6, 6.5, 6.4. I got you, Winston. 6.4. So for Richard Grant, y'all, we got him at about a 6.4, 6.5 if we want to be nice. So pretty decent game. Pretty good game. Pretty good game. Definitely could be better, but not terrible, not bad. I think if you don't get stiff armed to Argentina, you probably would have been 7 plus. So we're gonna go to our next player, y'all. Let's go to let's see. Let's go to Mikael Walker, our linebacker. Let's go to Mikael Walker. Walker had a total of 8 tackles. He has 6 assists. Assisted on 6 tackles, 2 solo tackles. Again, Mikael Walker, 8 total tackles. He assisted on 6 tackles, had 2 solo tackles. So that's Mikael Walker. What grade would y'all give Mikael Walker, if you would be so kind? Dave said, I would not advocate for firing Coach Pease. It's just hard to grade these DBs playing that style of defense. Yeah. And also, you mentioned DBs, what you playing with backups for probably more than half the season now. AJ done missed some games. Hayward done missed some games. So playing together very little this year. So we got to keep that in mind a little bit as well. Dirty Dan says, we still have so many missed tackles every game. I still can't get over the past game where I counted 20 plus missed. Yeah, man, that was a bad game for us tackling, bro. I remember that. And I remember we gave our players hell for that too. I do remember that, yeah. I remember that. David gives Walker a 5. Jimmy Wayne gives him a 4. Rusty gives him a 5.5. Dave said he wished Walker played on the outside. Norman gives him a 6. Winston gives him a 5 since his game was protected by Dion. And now that he's the man. Yeah, he is. Definitely is. He's playing for another contract too. Tim gives him a 5. Yeah, we are grading Mikael Walker. Eric Parker gives him a 5 also. Any other grades for Walker, y'all, our linebacker. PK Smith may be the worst rebuilding coach in history. Dave gives him a 6. Scooter gives him a 2. I read it wrong. My bad. 2 solo tackles at middle linebackers are terrible. He gets a 4. That's fair, Scooter. Very, very fair. Very fair. Very fair. I can agree with that assessment too. PK gives him a 6. So let's go ahead and tally up these grades. Dirty Dan gives him a 5. And a great again, we are grading Walker. Any other grades coming in for Walker before we count them up? Let's see what we got. That's 5, 4, 5. Walker's right at about a 5.5, y'all. Average game. I guess if I want to be nice, we could say slightly above average. But to me, a 6 is slightly above average. So I'm gonna say average game, mediocre game. Wasn't bad, wasn't good. Definitely need to be better as your starting linebacker. You know, somebody else, as Scooter pointed out right here, only 2 solo tackles, man. So that means you was jumping on a pile a lot of the game, Walker. You know, we need them impact tackles. And those are those solo tackles also. So 5.5, mediocre game. You should be playing better. Toddy, I cannot stand the 3-4 defense. Do you think schemes matter? I do think schemes matter. I actually liked the 4-3. More of a 4-3 base defense that we ran when Quinn was here. I was cool with that defense. Then, of course, you know, we went to more of a 3-4 defense, even though we do run a lot of different looks out of the 3-4. You get a lot of nickel packages in there. So, yeah, I think scheme matters. And I think also what's very important when you say the scheme matter is getting the players to fit that scheme. And as of yet, we don't have the players to fit this 3-4 scheme. You don't have that big, nasty dog in the middle as for your nose tackle. You know, you just need a big, nasty dog, right? The big, nasty dog right there in the middle. He ain't got to get a bunch of sacks, but he just got to draw a lot of attention to free up everybody else in the 3-4 defense. We don't have that yet. And we really don't have that yet the kind of linebackers for the 3-4. Maybe Anderson would be that guy, maybe, but we're still waiting. We are still. Wallace Smith checks in and says, I give him a 4 also. So, yeah, I keep him around about 5.3, 5.4. Yeah, so mediocre game for Walker. Let's go to Rashawn Evans, y'all, and then I guess we'll go ahead and move to offense. Rashawn Evans, who's the team leading tackler, of course. Let's look at his numbers. He had a total of 15 tackles, assisted on 9 tackles, 6 solo tackles. Let me please give you those numbers one more time. Rashawn Evans, 15 total tackles. He assisted on 6 tackles. I'm sorry, excuse me. Assisted on 9 tackles. Pardon me, y'all. 6 solo tackles for a total of 15. What grade do y'all give Rashawn Evans for yesterday? I agree, Tim. Not what we got right now. We got rid of all the 4-3 linebackers we had. You sure can't run it right now because we done drafted 3-4 guys for this game. So we're going to be in the defense for at least a few more years. Even if we change coaches, man, you know, we're going to be in the defense for a few more years. And we're grading Rashawn Evans. David gives him an 8. Eric Parker gives him a 7. Tim gives him an 8.5. PK says, I feel like until we get a new quarterback, we can't assess where the team is at. That's a very valid point, bro. Very valid point. Rusty says, Evans been the best player on the D all year. He is a true middle linebacker. Need to resign him. 10. I'm surprised Rusty gave somebody 10. I think Rusty, is that your first 10 you ever gave somebody? Because Rusty and John Harris, them two of the toughest judges that we have, boy. So I'm shocked that Rusty gave him a 10. Francis checking in. How you doing today? Francis says a 9. Let's see. Dave says he don't think Walker is stout enough. Winston gives him a 9. Norman gives him an 8. Um, so any other grades coming in? Any other grades coming in for Evans? Any other grades coming in for Rashawn Evans? Dave says, where's Evans making those tackles and doesn't matter? I think it matters a lot. There's a difference between making tackles at the line of scrimmage or tackles for loss and compared to making tackles 6, 7, 8 yards down the field. And that's one thing that I've always stressed that we've lacked a lot. We have lacked. It's just like true impact linebackers, man. Like y'all remember, a couple of y'all old heads. I know I got some old heads in here with me. Jesse Tuggle, impact linebacker, man. Point of impact. Point of impact. Bam. He gonna hit you right there. You get the ball, bam. There's a difference between that and then tackling guys 6, 7, 8 yards down the field, like we saw Deion Jones do a lot last year. So it definitely makes a difference. Definitely makes a difference. PK gives him a 5. Dave says Evans gets a 7. Let's see. Russell says Evans is a pure tackler. Bro never gets ran over. All right. So any other grades for Evans? Dave says, what do you make of so many missed tackles? Just not a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball. Just not a lot of talented guys. A lot of bargain basement guys. A lot of guys on 1-year contracts who just don't have that talent, man. That's why I'm hoping in free agency this year we can get talent on the defensive side of the ball and draft heavily on defense also. We just don't have that talent in defense. Dirty Dan said, yeah, he was a beast. Don't do that, David. Paul Warlow. That's somebody else who would make a bunch of tackles 8, 10, 12 yards down the field, who was not an impact linebacker, Warlow. Let's go ahead and tally up our grades for Evans as well, y'all. Let's see where we're at here. See, 8, 7, 7.5, 8.4, 8.5. 2. Gives him an 8 also. What's up, Wallace? So he's right at y'all. Evans is right at around an 8.1, 8.2. You might can go as high as 3 or as low as an 8, but he's right here in the early 8s, which is a pretty damn good game. Pretty damn good game. I think he's our highest scoring defender this week. Pretty damn good game, Evans. Keep up the good. You've been our leading tackler all season, and a pretty good game. Pretty good game from Evans. So yeah, let's go to our offense. Y'all, did we throw enough passes this the wide receivers? Because y'all know we have to skip the wide receivers a lot because a lot of times we don't throw enough passes. So do y'all think we threw enough this week to create wide receivers? I guess we can at least grade Champagne Poppy, right? I guess we can at least grade Drake, So we'll at least grade Drake. Let's see. Dirty Dances, the players not asked to wrap up when they tackle anymore. I think they are. I do know that a lot of I don't want to use the word stress or strain, but within like the last probably 5 to 10 years, the defense had to change how they were how they learn how to tackle in a sense because so many rules now. There's so many rules now to protect offense. I've seen plays where there have been clean tackles, but just the fact that they were such hard hits, the defender will get penalized, man. I've seen in the NFL Plenty of time. I'm sure y'all have too. You can make a clean tackle, but if you hit them too hard, they're gonna call a penalty on you. Go back to the Grady Jarrett tackle of Tom Brady. There was nothing wrong with that sack. But just the fact it was Tom Brady, he got penalized. So the defense they've had to make some changes. And sometimes in the back of some of the defenders' mind, they might be thinking about that a little bit. You know, the rules are just so much predicated to the offense succeeding now that defenders can't tackle like they once could tackle in the NFL. So that may play a small part in it or significant part in it. But overall, I just don't think we really have that enough talent spread out on the defensive side of the ball. Like I say, you take away Grady, take away AJ, and I'll give Stargate Evans some props too because he deserved props. But you know, outside those 2 or 3 guys, man, like man, it's kind of worrisome a little bit. Speaking of Grady, Facebook user says Grady is a prime example of a clean tackle. But yeah, y'all, we'll go to offense now. We'll go to offense and then we'll wrap up. Let's go at receivers. I think at least Drake got enough receptions to grade him. Because like y'all know, in the past we haven't been throwing the ball enough. But let's go ahead and grade Drake London. We're grading our Ricky Drake London. Scale of 0 to 10. We're gonna grade Drake London. Drake had a total of 6 receptions yesterday. He had 95 yards, so he was just 5 yards shy of a 100-yard game. He averaged a Julio Jones like 15.8 yards per reception. Longest catch of the day was 37 yards. He gave us 5 first downs. He was targeted 12 times and had 17 yards after catch. So I'm going to give y'all those numbers one more time. Drake London, 6 receptions, 95 yards. He averaged 15.8 yards per reception. His long was 37 yards. He gave us 5 first downs. He was targeted 12 times and had 17 yards after catch. So, in y'all's opinion, what grade would you give our rookie Drake London for yesterday's game against the Steelers? What do y'all give him? PK checking in says he gives him a 10. I like it. Brian gives him a 9. Let's see. Dave says Tyler could also be that those guys are not allowed to tackle in the offseason. That could be it too. Rusty. Good point. Valid point. Good point. You're right. Because they even got some NFL rules where you can't even have contact to a certain date. So valid point. Eric gives him a 9. Jimmy gives him a 9.8. Only bright spot on the offense. Francis gives him a 9.5. PK says Drake London is special. I like Drake London. I do. So we're grading Drake London. Y'all, any other grades coming in for Drake London? Our rookie sensation, Drake London. Imagine if we could pass the ball more. Imagine what his numbers would look like right now, y'all. Just imagine. Tim checks in, gives him a 9.5. And again, we are grading Drake London, y'all, a.k.a. the Champagne Poppy. Drake London. Dirty Dan says, good point, and I'll give him a 9. He's going to be a good one. Yeah, he is, man. He tough, man. He got some of that Roddy White in him. I'll see him make catches, and he'll deliver or he'll take a hit. He jump right up and start talking jump. I like that in a receiver. It just remind me, because that's how Roddy used to be. Like, Roddy get up and like, man, that's all you got? That's the hardest you can hit. You know, so I like Drake, man. I like it. He's gritty. That's probably the right word I'm trying to think. He's gritty, very gritty. Rusty says 9. He does good catching these ducks. I mean punts. I mean passes. You wild, man. David says a 9. Had to say about quarterback from another incompletion. Yeah, that he did. And, you know, you got to play cornerback, mess around with Mariota or something. Days says Drake gets a 9 for me. This guy is a team guy. Yep. He don't mind blocking too. Kyle Pitts didn't mind blocking either. Kyle Pitts had started becoming a pretty good downfield blocker, man, right before he got hurt. Kyle Pitts was springing a lot of these guys for 5 and 8 more yards. Our running backs with his downfield blocking. Eldrick says a 9.8 because he was open a few times. And Mario ain't gonna be able to hit nobody consistently, man. Oh, hey, but let's tally up the numbers, man. Let's tally up the numbers. Let's see what we got. See what we got for the Champagne Poppy here. Let's see. .4, 9.4, 9.2. 9.2, 9.3. Man, y'all, Drake got like a 9.3, 9.2. Phenomenal game, man. Damn near perfect. Phenomenal game from the rookie, man. And we can't ask for more than that from a rookie. Shoot, 9.3, 9.4. That's our high scoring weeks. You know what I'm saying? Weeks. So a phenomenal game from our rookie, man. Hey, you keep having games like that, man. You'll be Pro Bowl, All Pro in no time if we can get you the right quarterback. Yeah, but phenomenal game from the Champagne Poppy. But Mariota wants to take 7 seconds to throw the ball. Mariota be back there with the happy feet, man. Especially if he sees somebody blitzing him. But that'll be the only receiver that we'll grade today. Because outside of him, there was not a whole lot of production from the wide receivers. So let's go to the running backs, quarterbacks, and then we'll do the coaches, and then we're gonna wrap this up, y'all. Let's go to I want to do Huntley, but he ain't have enough carries. Then he didn't catch any passes either. So let's do Tyler Algier, our rookie Tyler Algier. Tyler had a total of 10 carries. He had 52 yards rushing. So he had 10 rushing attempts, 52 yards rushing. He averaged 5.2 yards per attempt. Long for the day was 20 yards. No touchdowns, but he did get us 3 first downs. So 30% of his attempts resulted in a first down. So let's do that again. Tyler Algier, 10 rushing attempts, 52 yards rushing. He averaged 5.2 yards per carry. His long of the day was 20 yards. No touchdowns, but 3 first downs. So what do y'all give Tyler Algier for yesterday from a scale of 0 to 10? What's y'all grades for him? They are, especially run blocking. Caleb McGarry and Chris Lindstrom, man, them boys been dogs this year. They've been dogs. David says, "Hey, he finished his run so tough. Yes, he do punish. He remind you like a baby Jerome Bettis. How he finishes his runs. He be delivering punishment, man. I love to see him run." Eric Parker says an 8. PK says our running backs deserve so much credit. They do. They definitely do, man. That's been a hallmark of the team this year. Russell gives him a 6.5. Dave says, I hope Rick can be the guy. Do the Falcons really want to tie up all that money for Lamar Jackson, given his all of a sudden injury history? Personally, even though Lamar is a perfect fit for this team, man, that's a lot of money that you're gonna have to pay Lamar because he wanted this type contract. Man, that would kind of put us right in the position that we just got out of as far as salary cap goes. So if we had a better defense, like if our defense was already ready, I'm saying if we already had like a top 12, top 13 defense, I'd be like, yeah, go get Lamar. But I'm hesitant to say that because I know we need to spend money on defense and draft picks on defense. Because to get Lamar, you're gonna have to sell the farm. You ain't gonna come to you cheap. Baltimore gonna want a lot in a trade. So I'm kind of hesitant on saying spend that kind of money and give up the kind of draft equity that it would take to get Lamar Jackson. At this point, my mind could change 3 weeks from now. Jimmy said 7. He needs it more. I agree. I definitely agree. Winston said 8. He needs more touches. Yep, that's what Jimmy Wayne just said, man, and that's what I agree with both of y'all. So we all in agreement there. Hey, got to get the ball more, man. Francis gives him an 8. Eldrick gives him also an 8. PK gives him a 9. Brian gives him an 8. Rydell checking in on YouTube gives him a 7. What's happening with you, Rydell? Welcome to the show, brother. Winston Tyler, as you reminds me of Edgerrin James, who's so underrated. So underrated. When people talk about great college backs that became great NFL running backs, somehow nobody mentions Edgerrin James. I don't know why, but he's so underrated. Dirty Dan says Tyler gets a 9. He runs hard. He definitely does. Definitely does. Let's see. Any and I agree with you on that. The 2 day. That was one of my That was one of my concerns when we first got him. Football IQ. Oh, and awareness. That's what I was calling it. Like, man, his awareness is terrible. But yeah, Algier, any other grades for Algier? I'm gonna tally up the grades real quick, y'all. Give me just a quick second. 8.2, 8.2, 8.2, 8.1, 8.3. Algier is like an 8.3. 8.3, maybe 8.2, 8.2, 8.3, but looks like close to the 8.3. Damn good game, Ricky. Damn, hey, no. 8.3, that's a great game, Ricky. Great game, and we're all in agreement. You need the ball more. We got to find a way to get you more involved in the offense. 10 carries, 52 yards, 5.2 yards per attempt, and you're delivering them but punishment when you get the ball. Great game by the Ricky, man. Now I will give our staff credit on that one. We found us one with Tyler Algier was what, a 5th round pick, y'all? 5th round? Man, he playing like a starter. So we got us one with Algier for sure. Okay, so let's move to our next person. We're gonna go with Mr. College Park, CP, Cordero Patterson. Cordero did not have any receiving yards, it looks like, which is kind of surprising. We normally find a way to get him the ball in the open field. But anyway, so we're just going to talk about his rushing yards today for Patterson. Patterson had a total of 11 rushing attempts, 60 total rushing yards, 5.5 yards per attempt. Longest rush of the game was 22 yards. 0 touchdowns, but he did have 4 first downs. And again, we are grading Cordero Patterson. I will give y'all his stats once again. He had a total of 11 attempts, 60 yards, 5.5 yards per attempt. Longest run of the game was 22 yards, and he had 4 first downs. What grade would y'all give Patterson for yesterday, y'all? And we are grading Cordero Patterson. Jimmy says 6, the dreadlock Poppy. Disappointed yesterday. David gives him an 8. That TD that got called back hurt. Yeah, I forgot about that too, bro. You're right. That was a good ass run too. I forgot about that. You absolutely right though, Dan. Russell says a 7. PK said he gets a 10 all day, every day. Eric gives him a 7. Francis gives him a 8.5. Scooter said he had 1 TD, but Jake missed it. Yeah, somebody mentioned that earlier, man. Yeah, you're right. And that was a good run, too. Hate to see that get called back because it was such a good run. Norman gives him a 7.8. And again, y'all, we are grading Cordero Patterson. What is your grade today for Patterson? We are grading Cordero Patterson, y'all. So any other grades coming in for Patterson? So let's tally up the numbers, y'all. Let's see what we got here. 6, that'd be 7. 7. Put them in like a 7.7. 0.5, 7. It's like passing around about 7.7, 7.8. Dan gives him a 9, so that's going to put him 7.9, 7.8. I want to see someone ever give CP7 a list. So you're right, about it's close to probably to 7.9, which is a very, very good game for Patterson. Very good game for Patterson, and we're probably also giving him credit, as we mentioned, for the excellent touchdown run that got called back due to a Jake Matthews penalty. But again, another very good game for Patterson. And just like Grady Jarrett, that's something that we have been accustomed to seeing from Patterson, just having good games / great games, very good games. And that's something that we're accustomed to seeing. You know, that's one of our consistently good players. Cordero Patterson has been doing a number of good things for Atlanta since he got here. So keep up the good work, CP. So now let's go to this one, and this one will, boy, I'm interested to see what y'all about to say here. It's time to go to the quarterback position. Yes, indeed. Marcus Mariota. Let's talk about the stats for Mariota yesterday, y'all. Mariota, he was 13 out of 24 yesterday. He completed 13 out of 24. He had 167 passing yards. He did have one touchdown and also one interception. He was sacked one time. His QB also 32.2. His rating was a 72.7. And I will give you those numbers again. Mariota was 13 out of 24, 167 yards. He averaged 7 yards per pass, which is not that bad. Pretty good, actually. He had one TD, one interception. He was sacked just one time, so good job, offensive line. QBR, 32.2. Rating, 72.7. So, good friends and family of the Bird Gang, what grade do you give your quarterback, Marcus Mariota, for yesterday against the Steelers? Let's see where we at with here. Oh, y'all came in fast on that one. Bree in the house. What's up, Bree? Bree says an F. We do, Bree, we grade from a 0 to 10. So I'm going to give us your grade from 0 to 10 also. Let's see. Your Huntley is a jam. Davis is a 2, and I was being nice. He said he's being generous with a 2. Jimmy Wayne says -2. No, seriously, 3. Worst game passing by him so far. Let's see. Norman gives him a 3. Too many overthrows. Brian says that was for Coach. My bad. A lot of got to have it to right. Nah, you good. You good. F-. He threw it to the wrong people. The Steelers fans on the top of the back row. What's your number grade, Eric? Give us your number grade too. Francis gives him a 2. PK a -3. Rest the game a 2.5. On the side note, his wife gave birth to the kid today, so congratulations. Yeah, I saw that. I think I saw it on the Falcons website or on their Twitter. Congratulations to Mariota, birth of his child today. So, you know, definitely big dog. Congratulations to him and his wife on their newborn baby. PK has him at a 0. Dirty Dan says, man, Marcus trash Mariota -10 on QB IQ, but a -3 grade. Bray says a 3 because the TD taken away wasn't his fault. I can respect that. I can definitely respect that, and I can agree. Let's see. Eric gives him a 1. Dave says you have to judge Mariota for who he is and not what you want him to be. That's fair. That's fair. They giving us some good perspective. That is very, very fair. Cause he only makes $8 million a year, so good point there, Dave. Dan says overthrows and underthrows are killing us. There's our judge. Y'all know PK wild as hell. Sean Dixon, goose eggs. I'm going to interpret that, Sean, as a 0. Any other grades for Mariota before we tally up these numbers, man? I'm about to do some math on this one, boy. These grades right here everywhere. So let's see. Let's go ahead and tally up the grades. If y'all want to drop his grade, you can keep dropping it while I do the math real quick. 0, so 1, 0, 0.5, 0.2. Oh, hold on. I missed that. Dave said Marcus is an 8. That's right. I said, okay, so an 8. That's the surprise grade of the day. That 8. It will be accounted. So that's gonna bump him really up to 3.5, 3.2, 2.7. So y'all Mariota, based on y'all grades, PK, you gave a man like 3 grades. So Mariota is he's at about a 2.5 on the low end, 2.8 on the high end. Either way is trash. Like PK said right here. It's just a terrible game, man. Terrible game. Antonio Holloway coming in gives him a 2. So that's gonna keep it in the 2s, 2.3, 2.4. I'm gonna be honest, pathetic. A 2 is pathetic for your quarterback. That's pathetic territory. That's they need to play the backup territory. Trash, garbage, horrendous, unacceptable, embarrassing, everything under the sun. Mariota's son, I almost don't know what to tell you. I don't know what rights I need to read your son. That might have been your last day as our starter yesterday, son. Rita might tap you on your shoulder and say, hey, big dog, I got you. Take a seat, rest your toes. This is a garbage game, man. Second consecutive week at that, man. Like, come on, bro. You're the quarterback. Obviously, we are not pleased with his play at all. So, man. So you can't even say it without somebody. You're right. Man. I would like to know why an 8 based on his performance yesterday. And that's who gave him the 8? I think that was Dave gave him an 8. So Dave, you have been requested to explain your grade, Dave. And while Dave and hopefully Dave explains his grade, we'll go ahead and grade our coaches, y'all, and then we will wrap this up, man. We will wrap it up. Let's start off with the defense. We'll start off with the defense. Our defense coordinator, as we all know, Coach Dean Pease, his second year defense coordinator for our Atlanta Falcons. So we will give their offensive numbers to give our grade on defense for Coach Pease as our defense coordinator. So Pittsburgh had a total of 19 points, which I'm going to admit that's pretty good for our defense. 19 points, that's not bad. Pittsburgh had 22 first downs. They were 6 out of 12 on third down. They ran 65 plays. They had a total of 351 yards. They averaged 5.4 yards per play. They passed the ball, and they had 197 yards passing. They did put up 154 yards rushing on us. They were 1 out of 3 in the red zone. They held the ball for a total of 32 minutes and 55 seconds. And just to repeat, they had 19 points. They didn't have any turnovers, no fumbles, or no interceptions. So, what grade would you give Coach Pease for yesterday, y'all? On a scale of 0 to 10. I'm gonna try not to, Sean. David says 7. I like the halftime adjustments for the second consecutive week too, David. Eric says a 7. Rusty Pease gets an R. Man, come on, Rusty. Sean got -10. Woo. Why so low, Sean? That's a little surprising. A little surprising. PK says a 7. Francis gives Coach Pease a 5. Dave says, Falcons fans, let's get serious. Do you realize the last time the Bills had a franchise QB prior to Josh Allen? That would have been Jim Kelly, right? Jim Kelly. There was a 20-year gap for the Bills. Find your guy, whoever they may turn out to be. So any other grade for Dean Pease? So we are 28th in the league in total defense. Okay. I think we last in pass defense, unfortunately, bro. PK says, Dirty, I would take you as the quarterback over Mario. Oh, man. Y'all be killing me in these comments. Some of the stuff I see, I just be doing my best not to bust out. Bree says 6 because we can't convert on third downs. Let's see. Dan says a 7. PK said, you realize time we had a trash can. Let me tell out these numbers, man. Y'all wild today. Okay, so that's a 7. That's a 7. That's gonna pull it down to like a 4, 4.2, 4.2, 4.4. 5.1, 5.2. So based on y'all grades, man, he's like right at around a 5, 5.2 if we want to be like generous. So right around a 5, 5.1, 5.2. Mediocre average. Hold on, we got one more coming in. Antonio gives him a 9. So that's gonna actually boost him up now. He was around a 5.2 before, so that's gonna probably with a 9. Probably about 5.4, 5.5 now. Slightly above average. Still teetering around the mediocre territory. But not bad. Not a bad job overall. Not a bad job. Not a great job defensively, but not bad. Definitely can get better on defense. Hopefully we will get better last 4 games on defense, but not bad. A lot of room for improvement. Definitely a lot of room for improvement. Rest is I just don't understand how he talked all this stuff this offseason about we're coming from everywhere again, and he is sick of the team being dead last in the standings, but yet here we are. Man, don't say that, Rest. Don't say that, man. Hopefully in the offseason, with the money we got to spend, and we got how many draft picks we got this year? Rest 9? I think we got 9 going into the draft. Hopefully that'll be able to improve, because I still be trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because I don't think he has a lot of talent on that side of the ball. PK says, how can you blame defense with our offense playing like this in second half? That's true. For the second consecutive week, y'all, we didn't score at least 20 points, man. And we was at home this time. So the offense has definitely been struggling these last few games. Sean says, I know one thing, no excuses next year. He got money. I'm with you on that, dog. I went on record multiple times, Sean. Hey, man, no excuses next year, dog. I'll give you a pass these first 2 years. I really will. Because I know everything they inherited. I understand the salary cap stuff. Understand you had to pretty much transition and build around Julio and Matt's contracts, maneuver around those, the dead money. 77 million in dead money this year. Hey, all right, cool. I'll give you these 2 years, man. No pressure from me. No pressure. But year 3, got to get to it, man. Got to get to it. Sean said if they don't do anything, both their ass on the hot seat. I'm with you on that one, for real. If we don't see Ritter all season, then Arthur Smith will be probably on a hot seat going into next year. Antonio, I'm telling y'all, we draft the receiver because y'all know we do the draft show live every year. I'm going to lose my marbles live if we draft another receiver, bro. I'm telling y'all, we draft another wide receiver, man, I'm going to lose the last remaining marbles that I have. And it ain't many left. If they draft the wide receiver again, boy, you talking about piss? Oh, my God. They draft another wide receiver, man. I'm going to start a petition to fire knowing Arthur Smith myself. And I'm going to pass it around online every single day if they draft a wide receiver. They better not. They better not. What do you think? What do you think they will do with the first pick in the draft? As of right now, as you asked me that here today, I'm going to say probably something on the defensive line. And I consider a pass rusher defensive line also. And I guess some people could look at that as an outside linebacker. But I'm going to say defensive line / edge rusher. I think it'll be something on defense because the first year of the new administration, the 4th pick of the draft went to the offense. The 8th pick of the draft went to the offense. So I just feel like at this point you gotta get the defense up now. Because it looks like we're gonna be drafting anywhere probably from 8 to 14, depending on how we finish the year. So that's still in good prime position. So I think it'll be something on that defensive line, man. Either a interior defensive lineman or a pass rusher. Now, 2 weeks from now, you can ask me something. You can ask me that, Dan, and I'll say something totally different. Like if we lose these next 2 games, y'all know me. I'm gonna start yelling quarterback. Because to me, once you get in that top 10, you're in quarterback territory once you get in the top 10. But that's what I'm gonna say as of right now, man. As of right now, I'm gonna say that. Who? Oh, we gotta do Arthur Smith. Yeah, we're gonna do Arthur Smith, then we're gonna get out of here, man. So let's do Arthur Smith real quick. Coach Arthur Smith, second year, first time head coach. Officer coordinator, officer play caller. Well, technically not the officer coordinator, but play caller. I'm just so used to the officer coordinator calling the plays. Sometimes combine the two. But head coach, play caller, not technically officer coordinator. But anyway, I think y'all understand what I'm saying. We scored a total of 16 points yesterday at home in a dome. We had 18 first downs. We were 3 out of 10 on third down. That's only 30%. That's terrible. We were 1 for 1 on fourth down. We had 53 total plays. We had just 306 yards of total offense. We averaged 5.8 yards per play. We had 160 yards passing yesterday. We had 146 yards rushing. We averaged 5.2 yards per attempt running the ball. We were 1 out of 2 in the red zone yesterday. We had 6 penalties for 48 yards, and we had 1 turnover. And the time of possession for the Falcons yesterday was 27 minutes and 5 seconds. And, of course, we lost the game 16-19. So, what grade do y'all give our head coach, Arthur Smith, on a scale of 0 to 10? What would y'all say? Let's see. David says a 4. Dave says, do you really know if Coach Smith can develop a young quarterback? That's a good question. That is the first question that I want to have answered. I don't know. I definitely don't know because there's no evidence of it. There's no tangible evidence that I can go and say, well, yeah, because he did it with this quarterback or he did it with this quarterback. Arthur Smith is only like 40, 41 years old himself. So there's really nothing there for me to say, yeah, because he did it with this guy. Like in Tannehill's situation, I don't know if you would consider like Tannehill like a young quarterback when he went to Arthur Smith, but Tannehill had already had years of experience before he got with Arthur Smith. So, and I know what you're asking me. You mean with Ritter? Does he have any evidence of developing a quarterback like Desmond Ritter, a true young quarterback with really no true NFL experience, unlike Tannehill? Same thing with Mariota. Mariota and Tannehill was in the same boat. They had some experience coming into the league. Arthur Smith was only an offensive coordinator at Tennessee for 2 years. So, just to answer your question to be concise, Dave, I don't really know because we don't have anything that we can base it off. So I don't know. Bree says a 1 because I'm being nice. So she's being generous with that one. And Taylor says draft Jalen Carter, get the wrong page, and free agency would be my dream all season. I'm with you on that too. That'll be 2 home runs, two grand slams for us. Norman says a 3. Eric says a 4. Why didn't he use the run game from the start? He talked about that in the press conference. He said something about he wanted to come out and be aggressive. I think in our first 22 plays on offense, the first 22 plays, I think we passed 16 times and ran just 6 times, which for us this year is kind of backwards. That's kind of like the last year Falcons. But he mentioned he wanted to come out and be aggressive. I don't know if he saw something in the game plan that made them want to come out and pass the ball, but we came out throwing. And, you ain't going to win with Mariota's arm. We know that. Let's see. Yeah, exactly, Sean. When you hold a team to 19 points and you still can't win, and that's why, I'm a little hesitant to just go over the top on DEPs because, like, hey, man, if your defense hold their offense to 19, you at home, you expect to win the game. PK says a -3. Francis says a 3.5. Bree says it's a 1 for me because he acts like he still doesn't know the strengths of his team being this late in the season. But we know it's due to him being bullheaded. Yeah, bullheaded, stubborn, arrogant. I definitely agree on that. And he sounded totally different. I don't know if you watched the press conference yet, Bree, but he sounded like he'd been humbled by something. I know I watched Uncle Steve's show earlier today. He said maybe Arthur Blank said something to him in that tunnel, but he didn't have that same just total arrogance that we've known him for these first almost 2 years. So I wonder what happened. I just think something happened yesterday. Maybe it'll come out. Maybe it won't. Brian says a 1. Dirty Dan says Smith gets a 2, maybe a 3, so a 2.5. Let's see. PK says I should don't want Arthur Smith quarterback. Oh man. Dave, in the odd way I get where Coach Smith is trying to go with this despite the massive ego tripping. Yeah, and it's crazy. Like a lot of times Falcons fans don't always agree as a whole on a lot, but it seems like everybody agrees that Coach Smith, like Bree said, bullheaded, like you saying, ego, like a lot of people say, like me, stubborn. We all seem to agree on that. We all come to a consensus on that. Dan says, who's our QB coach? It's a running back, I think. I need John Harris in here. John could tell me. But our quarterback coach didn't play quarterback. That's probably an issue in ourselves. I forgot his name. Somebody in the comments, who's our quarterback coach? If anybody knows, please. Winston, I'm sure Winston knows. Winston, who's the quarterback coach? Let's see. But yeah, we was grading Cole Smith, right? Let me see here. Brian says, Blank probably done checked his ass. Probably so, bro. It kind of sounded like something was said to him, man, because that arrogance was gone, bro. He, for the first time in almost 2 years of listening to him talk, he finally seemed humbled. Like something humbled him. You know, he just didn't have that aura of arrogance anymore that he's had since he's been here. Rusty says he sounded like a defeated man in the post-game press. Give him a 3 body language. Yeah. Rusty, that's the perfect word to describe it. Rusty gives the perfect description, y'all. He sounded defeated. And that's why I asked in the beginning, like, has he lost the locker room? Has he lost some of the locker room, man? Because, like, he sounded different. The player reactions, what they were doing on social media, it was kind of telling. You know, it was kind of telling. Bree says, I watched it because reality is setting in with him because he listened before answering and stated, he's sitting his team down to discuss losing in the locker room. Yep. And you're right. That reality probably is setting in with him. And he probably figured that he could take Mariota and make him to be something that most people thought he could not be. And it just hasn't worked. And then, you know, his unwillingness to play Desmond Ridder early in the season. I don't know. Maybe he feel like, you know, a lot has backfired on him. They said, what do you make of the local media asking Coach Smith questions? It seems that coach has already mastered the mental game. Honestly, man, I think the Falcons local media, like they have always been, I think for the most part, man, that I just don't think we have like a tough media market. I think in a different market, he would get more direct and tough questions to answer. And I think Coach Smith has shown signs in the past that sometimes he can let the media shake his cage a little bit. And I think in a different market, some media members would play off that and try to intentionally push his buttons just to get a sound bite off of him. So I think, again, like our local media has been for probably the last 30, 40 years. They're just not a tough media market. And maybe some of that is due to the fact that the Falcons have not been consistent winners. So there's really no standard set forth in regards to winning as far as that goes. Antonio, the sad part is that our QB and receivers literally have no chemistry. Yep. And that's probably another reason to go ahead and get rid of him, man, like a lot of people have mentioned before. And also losing his fan base. Somebody said earlier. Somebody said he's losing the fan base too. I bet you Terry got on his ass why his attitude was different yesterday. Somebody said something to him, Bree. I'm almost certain of that. Somebody said something to him. TJ Yates. Thank you, Winston. Thank you. TJ Yates is well, no, they asked about the quarterback coach. I'm sorry. And also Coach Smith, as far as his grades go, y'all, we got him at about a 2.7, 2.9. So pathetic, terrible, trash showing for Coach Smith yesterday. We definitely are not improved. We're definitely not impressed. Thank you, Rusty. Charles London. That's the quarterback coach, y'all. Charles London. All right, y'all. Well, it's been real, man. It's been real. This one has been real exciting. So thank you to everybody who tuned in on Facebook, and also thank you to to the YouTube warriors on YouTube for checking in. I appreciate that. Y'all had me dying laughing during this one. Y'all funny as hell, man. Some of these comments. But I really appreciate it, man. I thank you. So we got a bye week this week. As John Harris always says, he thinks we're gonna lose to the bye week. So we won't be doing player grades next Monday. Won't have a post-game show also either on Sunday. But I'll probably check in, man, probably sometime next weekend, probably Saturday or Sunday, and we'll just chop it up. Probably bring the squad on here, and we'll just have a real big panel if y'all want to. But I really appreciate it, man. I appreciate the participation. You know what I mean? And it's always good chopping up with that Atlanta Bird Game family. As I always say, man, I will see you the next time I see you. Peace out.